Palantir stock has been on an absolute tear in 2024, rising close to $60 per share as of this recording. That's up from around $15 per share to start 2024. So it's done a 4x in 1 year. But where will the stock be in 2025 by the end of 2025? Will it have a similar performance next year? That's the question I'm going to answer in this video. I'm going to give you my Palantir stock price prediction for 2025. That might surprise some of you. In fact, I think it will surprise many of you that have been following Palantir stock. So let's take a look, and I'm going to share with you precisely where I'm getting all of the numbers to make my stock price prediction so you can see for yourself and you can determine for yourself if I'm being too pessimistic or too optimistic in this forecast. So let's take a look. Hey everyone, I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video. Moomoo is a trading platform where you can buy and sell stocks and other investments. I use the platform for investing myself. If you join using the link in my description, you can get up to 15 free stocks. All right, so one of the numbers I'm going to need is Palantir's current share price, which, as I told you in the beginning of the video, close to $60 per share at $59.56. I also need Palantir's forward 1 year price to earnings ratio, which currently stands at a whopping 126. I also need the Wall Street estimate for what they believe Palantir's earnings per share will be next year in 2025. And according to those analysts on Wall Street that are following Palantir stock, they think its earnings per share will come in at 47 cents next year. And those forecasts have increased over the last 90 days or so from 43 cents per share. So roughly 10% higher earnings per share expected next year for Palantir. All right, so I also need the growth estimate for Palantir's earnings per share. And I'm going to use the growth estimate of 24.74% that Wall Street is expecting for Palantir stock next year. I'm going to use that number to forecast the earnings per share for 2026. I'm going to add this growth rate to the 2025 expected EPS to get to the 2026 estimated EPS for Palantir. All right, so now that we have the numbers we need to make our stock price prediction for Palantir stock, let's go ahead and look at the model. So let me first draw your attention at the 2025 EPS. Remember, that's the Wall Street number they expect from Palantir at 47 cents per share. And then remember the growth rate I will apply is 24.74%. When I apply that growth rate to the 2025 EPS, I get a 2026 EPS estimate of 59 cents for Palantir stock. I need the 2026 estimate because I'm making a forward price prediction using the forward price to earnings ratio. So I need the 2026 estimated EPS to predict the stock price in 2025. So if I apply the 59 cent EPS estimate for 2026 with Palantir's forward price to earnings ratio of 126, I get a price estimate for Palantir stock in 2025 of $73.87. Now, that would be an increase from the current share price of $59.56. But that's not my base case scenario. My base case scenario has Palantir's forward price to earnings ratio falling from the current elevated levels. If the forward PE ratio falls to 100, then the stock price could be relatively flat at $58 per share. If it falls even more to 80, the stock price could fall to $47 per share. If it falls to 60, then the stock price could fall to $35 per share. If you look back at the forward price to earnings ratio for Palantir over the last year, it's traded at a roughly forward price to earnings ratio of 60 for the better part of the last year before exploding higher around August and now after the most recent earnings release, where Palantir demonstrated phenomenal increases in revenue, in profits, and in cash flow, investors got even more excited about Palantir stock, and the valuation has absolutely soared. So where do I think Palantir stock price will end up by the end of 2025? Well, I think it's going to be somewhere between a forward price to earnings of 126 and 100. So I do think the forward price to earnings ratio is going to fall. However, I don't think it's going to fall dramatically because the company has excellent prospects. The growth rates are increasing. The company's keeping costs under control, and it's growing with enterprises, which is its biggest opportunity beyond governments. So I think the stock price falls between the forward PE of 100 and 126, with an actual stock price between $66 per share and $71 per share next year. So you might say, well, that's not that much of an increase from $60 per share up to $66 per share. That's an only 10% increase. And that's why I said you're probably not going to believe my stock price prediction. I think most investors that are following Palantir stock are way more optimistic about the stock price than I am going into 2025. I feel it has an excellent business. It's operationally great, and it's got excellent prospects in the industry that it's in. However, I feel these valuations are very elevated right now at a forward PE close to 126. And that's why I feel like the upside is muted for Palantir going into 2025. Going into 2024, I was a lot more bullish about Palantir stock. I had the stock rated as a buy, and I had it rated as a buy for several months into the year. And then I told investors around the middle of the year that it got too expensive for me, and I downgraded the stock to a hold. And so I'm a little more pessimistic about Palantir stock than most investors are. Not the business. I'm very optimistic about the business. I'm talking about the stock price because it's already increased by so much. I don't feel like there is that much more room on the upside. So remember, this is for informational purposes only. You should do your own due diligence before making an investment decision. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on where you think Palantir stock price will be in 2025 and why you think it will be there. Is it because the forward PE ratio will remain really high or maybe go even higher? Or do you think that the earnings per share will actually be better than what I'm forecasting here? In any case, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Hey everyone, so many of you have been asking about my investing strategy, and I'm excited to announce that I've written a book that's available for sale now that describes my 6-step investing framework for evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.